Good morning, 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 everybody. I hope everybody's day is off to a great start. I'm thankful to be in the land of the living this morning. I'm thankful to be amongst the living this morning. I'm thankful that God woke me up this morning and gave me another chance. So for those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Grace Amber. I come on different platforms. Whenever God gives me a word to share, I come on and I share it with you. So really quick this morning, happy Friday. Woohoo! Thank God it's Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. I have a really quick word for you this morning. It's not going to be a long word, but it's going to be a strong word for somebody. I want to talk to you today from the topic of equipped by enduring hardness. Equipped by enduring hardness. What am I talking about today? Let's jump in. Equipped by enduring hardness. Let me start off giving you the scripture that we read yesterday, which was 2 Timothy, the 3rd chapter. I'm just going to do the 17th verse. 2 Timothy 3:17. I'm reading in the NIV. It reads, so that the servant of God may be thoroughly equipped for every good work. And then I want to go to 2 Timothy, the 2nd chapter, and the 3rd verse, but this is from the King James Version. And that verse reads, thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Jesus Christ. Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Jesus Christ. What am I talking about today? Let's jump in. So there are some of us, right, who were not born with a silver spoon in our mouth. There were some of us who have lived a life that many people could not have endured. There are some of us, actually many of us, who have endured some things and we don't understand why. There are many of us who have experienced such disadvantageous circumstances for extended periods of time that we love God, we worship God, we have faith in God, we're not angry with God, but there's a part of us that says, God, why did you allow me to go through that? Well, let's talk about that. So when a person gets ready to enlist into the military, right, they go through something called basic training. And what is basic training for? To sum it up, basic training is basically to set a solid foundation for that person who is trying to go into the military. It is to set a solid foundation that will help them along their military career to succeed and to be effective in whatever it is, whatever the task is that they have been given. And so most people will tell you basic training is not pleasant. As a matter of fact, many people will liken it to enduring hardness. Many people will liken it to being traumatic because they are going through things that they've never gone through before, physically and mentally, right? Why do they have to go through that? Because that hardness is necessary to prepare them to be effective and to prepare them to be good leaders, to prepare them to succeed. It's necessary. You've got to go through the basic training in order for you to be able to go out and perform the tasks that are given to you. You've got to go through basic training. It's necessary. It's foundational for someone who is seeking to become a good soldier, right? Many of us are looking at God and we're saying, God, I went through a lot when I was a child. God, I went through a lot when I was a single mother. And God is looking at you and saying, listen, I know it was rough, right? But it's equipping you for the rest of your life. It equips you to be a good soldier. If you can endure the hardness, it equips you. What do I mean? Let me give you some common examples. Well, you were molested as a child. You went through sexual trauma as a child. Well, guess what? It didn't feel good and it was horrible, right? But as you get older and God moves you into position to minister to help, to counsel people who have gone through the same things, you become equipped for that. When God puts you and matches you with your spouse, and once you and your spouse get together, you find out that your spouse has endured the same thing. Now you see that God equipped you to be an effective helpmate to your spouse. God equipped you because of what you went through. It made you qualified for that marriage and that union because you went through something, and the skills that you were going to need to minister and to uplift and to help console your spouse as your spouse struggles with the same things that you struggle with, Guess how you became equipped? You became equipped by enduring the hardness that you went through when you were a child. How about poverty? When you were a single mother, it was so degrading to have to go into what people, that's that old 1958 term, the welfare line. Yeah, well, it ain't the welfare line no more. They ain't giving out blocks of cheese and paper food stamps. They got EBT cards. And the nice word for it now is food and nutrition services. It's really not called food stamps anymore, right? And so it was degrading to you as a single mother with all those kids to go into the welfare line, right? To sign up for government assistance. It was degrading to you and you hated that, right? Fast forward, 15 years later, you land a job at the local Department of Social Services. And guess what? You get a job where you are the person who is processing the food stamp applications. You are the person who is now interacting with other people who were in the same situation that you were in 15 years ago. And whereas some of your coworkers sit there with their nose turned up at the people coming in trying to get their stamps. And they turn their nose up because they ain't about that life and they ain't never had to live that life, never been about that life. And so when the people come in from the general public needing assistance, your coworkers don't have compassion like you have. And you know why they don't have it? Because they ain't walked a mile in your shoes. You know why they don't have it? Because they never had to go through it. But guess who is perfectly equipped for the job? You are. Why? Because you endured the hardness. And you didn't understand it then, but you understand it now when you see that single mama come in with her 5 kids and the kids are jumping all over the place, snotty noses. They won't keep the shoes on, the hair all over the place. The mama's hair is all over the place. Everybody's disheveled. But you are equipped to service that person with compassion. You are equipped to be empathetic to that person. Why? Because you've been in their shoes. God equipped you for your future. He did it in your past. Why? Because you endured the hardness, and your enduring the hardness 15 years ago equips you for what you're doing now. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's some of us who have, I'll give you an example. What gave me this word a couple of days ago is that I came home from work and I did get a phone call from the town hall that I live in. I did get a phone call to tell me that something was going on with the utilities. The problem is that I was at work and I couldn't really hear the whole phone call. So I just briefly listened to it and hung up, get home. I go use the bathroom, flush the toilet, brown stuff start coming up. I said, what in the world is going on here? Talk to a couple of my neighbors and they tell me a water main broke. Well, I had a rough day at work and I come home and I say to myself, Lord, I have no water. I ain't got the 3 gallons of water here. God, I'm hot. I've been out in the heat. What am I gonna do? I took about 5 minutes of that and then God said, you know what to do. Go in there and get that pot. You know what to do. See, maybe about 15 years ago, I lived in a trailer, an older trailer with no running water, right? No, I'm sorry, not 15 years ago. My daughter's, so you're looking at about 8 years ago. I lived in a trailer that didn't have water. And guess what I learned how to do before I went to work in the morning? I learned how to go right next door, go to the outdoor spigot, turn that water on and get some water, take that pot right back to the trailer, put it on the stove because I did have electricity, warm that water up and washed myself real good. God said 2 days ago, as I was getting all upset and all overwhelmed and all wound up and saying, Lord, what am I going to do? How am I going to do this? Do I have to go to this person's house? Do I have to call this person? No, I ain't calling that person. God knows I'll just sit here and be dirty. God said, look, hold up. You're equipped. You know what to do. Go get the pot. And you know what I did? I went and got the pot, went to go get me a gallon of water, put it on the stove, warmed it up, got me some shower gel, and made it do what it do. How did I know to do that? How was I able to do that so naturally? Because I was equipped 8 years ago enduring hardness. So now, fast forward, here I am in this nice place, beautiful neighborhood, beautiful home. I love it here. Problem is we had a water main break. Happens to anybody in the nicest of neighborhoods and the poorest of neighborhoods or the worst neighborhoods. It doesn't matter. It can happen anywhere that there's a utility water system, right? And so it equipped me to be able to handle that situation. You went through illness. I have too. You went through extreme levels of illness. For me, it was inflammation that would sometimes render me to be a cripple at times, randomly, sporadically. At any given moment, just my joints swell up and I couldn't move. Well, guess what? Now I work with adults who some of them suffer the same things. And so where other people might will look at them and treat them callously, while other people might look at them and not understand, while other people may look at them and just look at what's written on paper and not see them as a person, but just look at what the paperwork says, I empathize with them because I've been there. I'm equipped for my current job because I endured hardness years ago. And now, even though I'm not a cripple anymore, and even though I don't suffer like that anymore, and even though I've got this thing under control right now, I'm still working with people who are going through some of the same things that I went through years ago. And when I see those people, even though they might have contributed to their current circumstances, I still can see them and empathize with them. Why? Because I was equipped, because I've been there. We're looking at our past and we're looking at our situations. We're looking at the poverty that we went through. We're looking at, God, why did you allow this to happen? We're looking at the divorce. We're looking at the miscarriages. We're looking at the deaths. We're looking at all the things that we've been through, and we don't understand why. But when we look back over our lives and we think things over, we can truly say that we have been blessed and we are a testimony. And so when we see other people who have gone through the same thing, we can empathize with them and we can treat them with compassion, treat them with dignity. Why? Because we've been there. And those of us who are really, really smart, we understand that even though it looks like we may never go back to that, we never know when today or tomorrow we might be faced with those same challenges again. But one thing is for certain, we are equipped and we are at an advantage. It might have been a disadvantage back then, but guess what? When it comes back around this go round, it's going to be an advantage. The hardness that you endured back then like a good soldier, guess what's going to happen? When it comes back around again, you are equipped. Where somebody else will go and end it all because they've got to deal with that, baby, you are equipped for that. When your money get funny now, you know what to do. Okay? Well, listen, we can't go to corral this weekend, but I tell you what I can do. I can go make it do what it do in the kitchen. I know what to do for dinner. If we don't have money to go buy food for this little period of time, guess what? I know what to do. Go in that freezer and make something out of nothing. I know what to do because I've been through it before. And God is saying many of you can't understand why he allowed you to go through what you went through. But guess what? You're going to understand it if you keep living long enough. When you see it again, you will see that what you thought was a disadvantage, the small beginnings that you once despised, will work to your favor. Romans 8:28, it worked for your good because when it come around again, you are equipped for the good work. You are equipped by enduring hardness as a good soldier of Jesus Christ. I hope that word blessed you like it blessed me. It sure did bless me the other day when I came home and I was looking with no water. And I put that pot on that stove with that water. Boy, something went through me. I said, my God, Lord, you equipped me back then. You equipped me. I know what to do. And by the time I got done with that pot of water, honey, it felt like I had just took a good shower. Why? Because I was equipped. God is equipping you. And you don't understand it now. And you don't understand why it happened back then. But if you live long enough, you'll understand it by and by. You will understand that you are a testimony, and you will understand that God didn't mean it to hurt you. He meant it to prepare you, and he meant it to help you for the things that you may see today or in your future. I love you. I hope that word blessed you. I am Grace Amber. I'll be right back on Monday with another word. Good Lord willing. I love you.